I'm here with attorney Ify Ikeakanam, and she has helped thousands of people across the country to achieve legal status. Has worked a lot with folks, helping them to get green cards. She's very active across social medias and has built communities on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and she's in the process of building a brand new community where every day she's going to go live and help people with the easy green card method. And I'll let her share a little bit more about that when we do the plug at the end and where you can find her and where you can find that new community. But we're happy to be here and be talking about immigration and her specific work and what she's done to build a successful and efficient practice. And love to kick off hearing a little bit more about you and how you got into immigration in the first place.
Thank you, Matt, for having me on this podcast. I'm excited to be here. First of all, immigration was coming to me naturally because, I'm an immigrant from Nigeria. And I had contact with immigration attorneys from the get-go, just having my own green card process. So I already knew I was going to do something with immigration. So from that time on, I went to college, got my master's, went to law school, and I picked immigration. And so far, I've been practicing family-based immigration for the past 8+ years now, surprising. And I've been helping immigrants nationwide with their family-based applications and humanitarian visas, like VAWA cases or T visa cases based on abuse and stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years now. And recently, I was just talking to you about my group, my Facebook group. So that community I'm building online is part of what I do now. Just because this administration calls for that community. So on there, I'm teaching people how to get their green card success in 2025.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And, tell me a little bit about going to law school, deciding to be a lawyer, and you went through the immigration process yourself. And so, did you know from the moment that you started law school that you wanted to do immigration law?
Well, technically, yes. I knew I wanted to do immigration law. I just didn't realize how diverse it was. I didn't know family based or even VAWA specifically. I learned that when I started practicing, in 2019. That was when I first started my law firm. Yes, I knew that just because, like I said, I went through that process. We had an immigration attorney. We did a lot of the gathering of the documents. It was really hectic because it was a family of 6 at the time. So,
Wow.
my mom, yeah, doing all that stuff. And, the lawyer was also getting paid all these fees. And back then as a teenager, I'm like, this looks really great. This guy's getting paid this money. So I think I should do this. So that was kind of how it started. But to get to law school, you got to do your undergrad first and do
Yeah.
all steps. And it all worked out because thankfully I did study marriage and family counseling, not knowing I was going to become a family-based, marriage-based lawyer. So,
And
yeah,
now in your law practice, you do a little bit of both. Sometimes you're
you
practicing
know,
immigration law, sometimes you're doing marriage and family counseling.
exactly. So it worked out perfectly. And I love what I do. It just opens up a lot of opportunities and, meeting people, meeting you. So, yeah, it's exciting.
So we know that immigration work is hard work. It has its ups and downs. Some days it's really rewarding and inspiring. Other days it can be discouraging. And tell me about a story over the last 8+ years that you've been practicing immigration where you had a success story that was so inspiring and made you want to double down and continue to practice immigration and help more and more people every day.
Oh, yes, great question. So I have a lot of stories, most of them around people getting free from abusive relationships. I think those ones hold a lot more impact to me because you find people who didn't think they could ever get a green card or leave an abusive situation, and then they end up doing so. So I had this one client. She was really one of my very first VAWA cases. And she had a son who was special needs as well. And she was really in that situation where she couldn't barely, go home. She would, stay outside the house because she wasn't safe. And she came to me. I was still a new lawyer, so it was really scary for both of us because I had to really think quickly on how to advise her as an attorney and with my background in counseling just to get her to be calm because she was really anxious. But, she followed my advice. This was 3 years ago when she finally got her results. She followed my advice. We filed her VAWA self-petition with her adjustment of status. So she left that man. Her son is actually doing much better now because, all that abuse was holding both of them back. So that was one early on case. And there's been many others. I've seen another case. It wasn't quite abuse, but it was a notice of intent to deny. That was also one of my first ones. I tell that story all.
They came to you and they had a notice of intent to deny from
Yes.
something they did on their own or another lawyer?
Exactly. Yeah. So they filed on their own and they came to me with this difficult NOID because it's a marriage-based case and they were living separately, or I think there was something about another third party or infidelity, just something they tried to insinuate that it wasn't a real marriage. And I just did this response. I talk about it all the time. I tell everyone on my team, I'm like, listen, you just have to trust your gut and go with your convictions about your arguments and make a case for your clients. And, they won. After the NOID, they were able to get called for the interview and they got approved because I just said, hey, every marriage is not a traditional marriage. Just because it's not traditional doesn't mean it's not real. And, that was it. So those are some highlights over the years of clients who had trouble before and then coming to me and were able to get them free. So yeah, pretty
It's
cool stuff.
amazing. Thank you for sharing. So immigration has been in the headlines for months now. At the very top of those headlines are stories around high-profile deportations, along with new debates around our asylum laws and lots of immigration laws around eligibility for green cards and adjustment status. As someone on the front lines of doing work for folks that are asylum seekers, folks that are going through the VAWA process, the family process, what's your experience been working with clients over the last couple of months in this dynamic of heightened fear and anxiety?
Great question, Matt, because my clients are certainly more anxious than ever because we're getting a lot of calls about just simple things. Like I had this client who had an appointment for just something, a doctor's appointment, and she almost canceled it. She called me and said, do I need to go for my doctor's appointment? I was like, please go for your appointment because you don't have any
Like
criminal
she thought she
background.
was going to get deported at the doctor's?
Exactly.
Oh man, that's horrible.
I know. And she really needed it. I think it was some type of surgery for her knee. She's an older lady. Her case is very interesting because she's been here for years, like I'm talking 20 plus years, and didn't have her status because she's not able to prove that she entered legally. But I'm like, even still, there are options after you've lived here for 10 years, but she didn't talk to an attorney out of fear. That's one of the reasons why people. So people are just calling us a lot more. And because of that, we're doing daily check-ins with our clients, just, texting them, just checking in, hey, how you doing? Because their cases may still
You
be
check in
pending.
with every client daily?
Yeah, now. So I have a
That's
team.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I created a team of my case specialists who normally would just work on the actual cases. We
Yeah.
with this plan to start doing check-ins for special
so
cases,
cool.
especially those self-petition cases, those cases where they don't even really have their U.S. citizen spouse, because it's quite different. You have your U.S. citizen spouse, you have that support, but if you're like alone and a victim of abuse, it's even harder because it's like the anxiety you already felt before, plus you're not even sure about your status. So yeah, that's one of the things we're doing to try to calm them down. Hopefully it's working. I'm working weekends sometimes because some clients are not able to meet with me until Saturday. And so I opened that up, or evening times. I actually have an evening consultation probably today, or I've an evening consult. Those are the types of things I'm doing to just help the clients know that I'm available. They can talk to me and we're accessible, basically.
That's something I've been hearing as I've been doing this podcast. one of the things I think that makes immigration attorneys successful is um, being willing to do things a little bit differently and being able to do things like opening up consultations on the weekend or in the evening, meeting your clients where they're at and going above and beyond to fight for them and to make sure that you're doing right by them and doing everything that you can to help them achieve legal status. And I know it's really scary for people, especially people that don't have a U.S. citizen relative, that can maybe make them feel a little bit more secure. Obviously, we're seeing people with U.S. citizen relatives that are, being arrested, detained, etc. Um,
Right.
but it's I know that a lot of folks just for fear have been leaving and doing voluntary departures, even though they have some eligibility or some legal
Right.
path forward. They just don't know. And so to check in with them like that and say, hey, we're here for you. We've got your back. And here's the latest of what you need to know is powerful, and that's amazing. And I think something a lot of folks can learn from as they're building out their practices. Another trend that we're seeing is that, and I'm sure your inbox has been getting flooded about this, is that there's lots of stories of foreign nationals being turned away and even detained at the border over things like text messages and social media posts. When something like this happens, that rightfully causes a bunch of fear and anxiety for folks. How do you balance the influx of messages, calls, emails, texts, whatever, with the active caseload that you have?
Great question. And that's really a challenge because people are watching social media and seeing everything that's happening. So that even makes them, reach out even more. So in my practice, I use a lot of automations to make sure that my clients' cases are being processed while we're simultaneously giving them updates, like about what's going on in their case, or answering their questions about things like the travel. Because when it comes to those general updates, I'll just make a video and send to my clients through the portal. We have our dedicated client portals that we use. So I just tell them, hey, this does not apply to you. For example, the registration thing too, that's a new update with where you have to register. A lot of my clients are worried about it. I'm like, this doesn't apply to you because you entered with a visa, so you're fine. But in order to just make it more efficient, we just do one quick updates for our entire client base, and we're able to reach out to more people that way. And with the case specialists on the ground, we're able to get some answers for more urgent cases, just kind of prioritizing like that. And I think everyone is pretty happy with the updates they've been getting. A lot of people are sending me more emails now saying, thank you. I went to my doctor's appointment. It was great. I did this. It was fine. I traveled and I came back safely, stuff like that. That has helped us kind of balance that workload.
It seems like you've done a great job of building these close relationships with your clients and staying in constant contact with these updates you're giving, both automated and updates from your team members, especially with, you shared these um, some of these cases of people that are even more fearful, checking in with them. And it seems like you've done great of just blocking out time where this is time for communicating with clients. This is time for doing other aspects of your work.
Yeah, so as I've grown, I've come to realize that that was a big part of what many immigrants were missing in the whole process. It's not really just about the forms, because you'd hear people contend about how they can DIY the forms. I'm like, well, maybe, but when it comes to keeping updated and knowing the trends and kind of having that support in case you even get picked up at an interview or something like that, or by ICE, you have someone to call. That's where the attorney support comes in. So I just then had to develop my practice. I created office hours for my clients, just having accessibility, because that's really what most people complain about. I can't get in touch with my attorney. I can't get in touch with my attorney. So in order not to get those calls or just out of fear, people just saying different things, I made myself more accessible through emails, video calls like this, or even just sending them a video. That actually goes a long way, because when they can see me, just sending them the message, they know it's from me, and then that really goes a long way. So that has helped.
And I'm guessing, your background, having studied family and marriage counseling, is helpful because, you learn how to be a good communicator and how to expectation set and to make sure that people are doing all right. And it sounds like the way that you built your practice from the ground up has made it so you are proactive with comms and not reactive. And so when inquiries are coming in, when there's a heightened sense of anxiety, I'm guessing if you surveyed all of your clients compared to the broader population of immigrants across the country, the stress and fear levels among your clients would be much lower because you've already been doing that proactive communication and expectation setting with them.
That's right. Yes, that's the goal. I think it just works out. Also, being an immigrant myself, I kind of know where, where it hurts, so I can just reach them and, yeah, everyone's happy.
There's growing uncertainty around family-based immigration cases going forward, in
Mm.
particular with longer backlogs, more RFEs, and more enforcement concerns for families with pending petitions. It's expected to continue, if not get worse. What are you seeing in your practice, and what's your process for managing expectations around the government uncertainty going forward?
Yeah, that's definitely happening a lot. I've been working on lots of RFEs for minor things that didn't matter in the past. So, with that being said, obviously that's causing more delays in the processing times. Cases already were taking about a year to 2 years to be processed. So, with unnecessary RFEs, I'm just letting clients know at the onset that there's going to be delays. Thankfully, people are able to still get their work authorizations, and I think that actually gives them some type of peace of mind moving forward. But to get the actual green card, you're going to get an RFE maybe, and then you're going to get an interview. In the past, interviews were also waived. So just basically setting that expectation from the beginning has helped to let them know that the timelines are changing, and also advising them to use this easy method that I created, because if they are able to know what's missing in the beginning, there's no surprises at the end. So they can avoid any RFEs, because RFEs is really just for a lack of documents, right? So if we're able to attack that with the easy method, I love it, we're able to avoid those missing documents. That's really what it's about. And then I also started to advise my clients to go with attorneys to the interviews, right? So interview prep, interview attendance became mandatory, even though in the past it's really up to you, because the attorney doesn't really say much at the interview, but knowing that people are getting placed in detention for even shoplifting, like the most minor things. So I don't want to send my clients out there unrepresented. So with my clients who are nationwide, I'm either traveling, I've been to Chicago, New York, Baltimore, all those USCIS offices there, Tennessee, wonderful experiences. But or if I'm not able to go because of time, because I can't really be everywhere, we have attorneys across the 50 states that can show up for them. So that's really some of the things we're doing to manage the changes, because we can't really, it's hard to tell what's going to change next. It's like you wake up the next day and there's like, oh, this is now the new rule. And sometimes it's even unspoken, because I've been talking to the agents in there. Like, for example, they can't approve your green card at the interview anymore. That's not written down anywhere, but an agent confirmed that it's just one of the policies now. They'll have to get a second opinion before they give you an approval. So, those are the changes we're seeing. And I think it's working what we're doing, just setting the expectations with the timelines and just doing what we can.
Another change that we recently saw is this last minute change to USCIS forms that was literally overnight. And I know Ayla sued and won. And what is your firm doing to handle disruptions like that? That can be something seemingly small, but ultimately get in the way of all of your future casework.
Yes, I am definitely thankful for Ayla, because those types of changes, really what it was going to do was all the cases that were filed will just become rejected or denied because it was an old So I'm glad they were able to get that, resolved. But what we do for sudden changes like that is use our automations and automated systems. I have several CRMs that I use for my forms to make sure it just updates immediately. So with those automated systems in place, we're not going to be surprised the next day to see. So it's just going to update all the forms that I have on the system for my clients to the latest edition, and then we can send it out. In this case that just passed, the issue was really the sudden change, right? Usually USCIS changes and they'll give you some time to actually adjust to those changes. But with sudden changes, I think the best thing is just having those systems in place that can update your stuff quickly. And that's what we have. So internal systems for email updates, just letting us know when there's a change so we can be mindful when we're sending stuff out as well. Team meetings, I'm meeting with my team every week, talk about those changes as we see them. I'm connected with Ayla, so I'm able to kind of be up to date on that as well.
So there's only so much that lawyers can do within immigration work because we know, some of the immigration work is before the client finds you. Some of it is once they find you and you go through all the workflows that you need to do, and some is in the government stage. And we know that there's only so much lawyers can do when it comes to disruptions in the government stage. And so one question that I ask every lawyer on the podcast is when you put the the government stage aside and you just focus on the work that you're doing from the moment the client finds you to the moment that you submit to the government, what's one thing that you think is slows down these cases the most from start to finish?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I was thinking about this one because it's really client ghosting, like clients not submitting documents. But I really have to think about it because I think the reason why they ghost is really just because they're anxious about the process. And uh, I educate my team about this to understand that when a client is not responsive, we have to figure out the best way to communicate with them, just soft check-ins, because they really do delay because they either don't trust the process, they don't trust that they will actually get what they qualify for, or they're just really scared, especially when it comes to an abuse-based case, because they have to talk about everything that happened over those years and they might just not want to do that. So we recommend, or we refer, let me say it that way, we offer referrals to our clients for therapy sessions to help them both heal themselves and get some evidence for their case. So the clients who actually take our advice and do that, it works out well for them. But for the most part, clients delaying on sending us documents or just participating in their case, not responding to the calls is kind of what the only other thing, right, that could slow down a case aside from government delays or just even eligibility issues, so.
That's really cool that you're doing that, and I think obviously it makes sense for folks that are filing for AOS through VAWA. I'm sure there's other areas like asylum petitions where it's really hard to prepare the petition because you're reliving the experience that obviously has made you eligible for one of these difficult eligibility paths. And so
Right.
to offer it, you're offering like almost more comprehensive services where you can help people not only obtain legal status, but also work through some of the difficult things that resulted in their eligibility for legal status.
Right, yeah.
Um, yeah, it goes to show like that, you are extremely high empathy when it comes to practicing immigration law.
That's really something that just kind of happened. That's why I'm very thankful to have all my areas of interest just merge together in what I do now. Because like I said, when I started immigration, I didn't know that there was any VAWA, type thing or any area where I would have to really counsel clients on a different level aside from immigration. So it works out well. And I'm thankful to be that difference. That's really what makes us stand out as a firm, that we focus on those other aspects, like knowing that a client is ghosting because they're anxious, they're freezing. That's it. So they need a different type of care versus, hey, I'm leaving your case or just whatever, right? Or just abandoning the case because it's not, that's usually how it is. And as you were talking about the asylum case, I was just recalling my interview attendance with one asylum a client. And, when we're writing it down and preparing the case, it feels a little different than when we're at the interview, actually talking to the agent about it. And both me and my client just choked up because I was trying my best to just not, to be the professional, but it's really, this is hard stuff that people are going through. And I just was like, give me a tissue. So it was emotional, but, I'm thankful that I can do what I do and I can still, it works. Yeah.
So, we talked a lot about efficiency in this podcast, and I've asked a few attorneys that I've spoken with about different efficiency initiatives, both that have been effective, that have been ineffective. I'm curious, within your practice, what's something that you've implemented that really stuck and made a big difference for the team's caseflow management?
Okay, well, this one I was very ready to answer because
Nice.
I am super excited. We just got our Lawfully Pro portal, which
I like it. I like the plug.
finally, I was just so ready because I've been talking to every attorney I can find. Like, listen, you need this to change your life. Because I had a system I used before to track cases.
Yeah.
That was fine. But why I like the Lawfully Pro is because of the emails that I get. And my entire team
Hmm.
gets that email as well. So we're seeing both the approvals and cases that need attention, like it's time to do a service request. Like that stuff we just didn't know before.
Hmm.
And it could just really drag for a long time. And we didn't realize that it was time to do a service request. Now, a service request is not mandatory, right? But it does help the case move forward. So I
Hmm.
think that with this change in administration and people really wanting results, that was one of the best things I could have added to all the CRMs and stuff I have already for those immediate like updates. And then sharing links to the clients as well is pretty helpful because it's a very detailed uh, if, update, right? It's a detailed history, that's the word, a detailed history of their case and everything. So I think I love it. Like I was really looking for something else to say because I didn't want to say so Matt will think I'm just saying it because this is lawfully, but for real.
I like it.
Oh yeah, for real. It really has changed the game for us, and making even helping with that plan that I have for my clients to do those daily updates. So before you
Hmm.
talk to clients in a day, you can just quickly check their case, and you're like, yeah, I knew this the whole time, and you can just read from Lawfully, and it makes it seamless to talk to them, like the professionals that we are. So it's great. That's
That's our
really.
goal is how can we power law firms to, one, always be doing whatever you can to make the case move as quickly as possible through all of the different government stages, and two, do it in the most efficient and productive way possible. Um, in today's environment, paralegals, attorneys should not be manually checking government portals or have to carve out time of their day to go through a spreadsheet
Mm,
and cross-reference that spreadsheet with government systems. It takes a lot of time, and
mm,
it's just not the best way to do things when you can have software do it for you. And then the other thing is, and this is really what we learned in the consumer business with our mobile app that's helped over 2 million people to track nearly 6 million cases today, is give more insight and transparency. The consumer, the individual foreign national going through this process, they're craving more than, oh, it's in the government stage and now it's a waiting game. They want to
mm.
know about how long is it going to take? When can I
Right.
expect the next step? What is the next step likely to be? And is there anything I can do to speed it along? It's a disappointing situation when a foreign national finds out that, oh, they were eligible for a case status uh, case inquiry, and it wasn't submitted because it's just not really part of the workflow that's being tracked, So that's we're in the early stage still, and so it's awesome to hear that you're loving the software, and we're excited to continue to improve it to make your life and your team's life easier, and your clients' lives and their, especially the waiting stage, less stressful.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's just really something I had been wanting for a while because those Excel sheets, it doesn't get updated as often. And then the numbers,
Hmm.
that IOE numbers are very just long and complex to look at. So with the app, it just makes it's always open on my computer. And I'm just always, you could just search someone's name. So yeah, I was also going to mention how my firm is a virtual based immigration firm. So I use a lot of automations and tools like Lawfully to really help that process, so I can reach people nationwide. So, yeah, great job. Thanks for thanks for telling me about it. I just actually it was another attorney that told me about it, and I've been spreading the word too. So I think this is just how it works because a lot of people just don't know that the pro version exists because I think you've always had the
Hmm.
other version. So I think that's the best addition to everything that we have going on right now. So yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If if you could snap your fingers and create one brand new technology tool to improve case flow efficiency, in addition to all of the tech stack that you have today, what would it be?
Oh, another great question. Because, like I said, a virtual attorney always looking for something that's going to make it snap, snap. So,
Hmm.
lately, I've really been looking for an app. So, if I could snap my fingers, I will have an app on my phone that can generate immigration forms, and fill it out with AI and also manage the cases together. Because right now, I have
Mm.
those systems separate, including lawfully as a separate thing that I have. So if everything could just be in one app and I could just tap and see a clear dashboard of my
And do
clients.
it on your phone because you're traveling for these interviews and everything.
Yes, and just be like mobile. That would be the dream because some of the apps are web-based, and
Yeah.
understandably so, because we have lots of documents and forms
Hmm.
and stuff like that for immigration. So I get it. But yeah, that will be my magical wish or my dream land. I'll just wake up in the morning, get my iPad, and just, I don't have to go from app to app. So yeah,
I,
that
I
would.
love it. I'm gonna go back and tell the product and engineering team, hey, we need it. We started out in mobile for the app for individuals and their families,
Right.
and now we got to go back to mobile for the attorneys because they're on the go more and more every day.
That would be amazing. So yeah, so let's see. And also let's add one thing to the app. Let it have, since my firm is focused on empathy and caring, we needed to have a voice that's, calming and just a more human voice, right? Because not like the AI sounding chat GPT type thing. So that's one of the things too, because you have to always remind some of these AI tools, make it more
Hmm.
human, make it more soft, like,
Yeah,
like that. So that would be the perfect immigration app. Yeah.
I love it. So thank you so much for doing this. It's been so lovely, and we love working with you. And glad to hear that Lawfully Pro is going well. And I loved hearing a little bit more about you and about your practice. Tell the audience where they can reach you, and yeah, tell them a little bit more about this new community that you're launching.
Oh, yes. So again, thanks for having me here. And for anyone interested in knowing more about me, you can find me at Ify Law Firm on Instagram, and I have links and everything there to reach out for free resources and also to join my 5-day program that's happening on Facebook is my 5-day easy green card success training. I'm teaching immigrants how to prepare the best case so they can get approved quickly and avoid any mistakes or issues that could cause delays because that stuff is expensive now. So join us on Facebook and I'll see you in that session. It's starting on Monday, April 21st.
I'm ready for the easy method. Examine your methods, assemble your documents, sign and
Yeah,
verify. You get
yeah,
results. 90
yeah.
days or less.
I love it. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, so I'll see you all in that group, and thank you for having me on this session. It's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.